3 weeks past D-Day, and I'm still struggling to wrap my head around everything that's happened. The guilt, the regret, the confusion, it's all just swirling around in my head, and I can't seem to get a grip on it. I'm 27F, and until recently, I was engaged to someone I truly believed I'd spend the rest of my life with. We had everything planned out. Our wedding was just a few months away. We were saving up for our first house, and we even talked about starting a family in the next couple of years. But now, all of that is gone because of a choice I made that I can't take back. It started about 8 months ago when a guy from my college days transferred to my workplace. Let's call him AP, affair partner. We had known each other from back in the day, but we were never really close. We had made out several times and also slept together once during a party, but after all that we went our separate ways. When he showed up at my job, it felt like catching up with an old friend, though we were never truly that. We'd go for coffee breaks together, have lunch every now and then, and it just felt nice to have someone familiar around, especially since work had been so stressful. But obviously our past feelings resurfaced and things happened. The casual chats turned into something more. We started texting late at night, sharing things that I probably should have only been sharing with my fiance. It wasn't long before we crossed a line that I wish I could undo. Even though it wasn't our first time together, now things were different. The guilt was there from the start, but I kept telling myself that it was harmless, that it was just a fling, and that it wouldn't go any further. I was lying to myself because I didn't want to face the reality of what I was doing. My fiance, let's call him B, found out about the affair in the worst possible way. By finding a video from AP on my phone. It was a video of us. I still remember the look on his face when I walked out of the bathroom that night. He was sitting on the couch, my phone in his hand, and his expression was a mix of shock, anger, and heartbreak. I didn't try to deny it. I just stood there, frozen, as he asked me how long it had been going on. I couldn't even answer him. I just grabbed a bag, stuffed some clothes into it, and left. I couldn't face him. I couldn't handle the pain I'd caused. The past 3 weeks have been a blur. I've been staying with a friend, trying to give B space to heal. He hasn't reached out to me, and part of me knows that's probably for the best, but it still hurts. I miss him so much, and every day that goes by without hearing from him feels like another dagger to the heart. My friends keep telling me to let him be, to give him time, but it's hard, especially because he's been really active on social media lately, posting these cryptic, sad messages that just tear me apart inside. It's like he's speaking directly to me without actually saying anything to me. I know he's hurting, and I hate that I'm the reason for it. I've been trying to stay off social media myself, but it's hard. I posted some song lyrics the other day, lyrics that really hit home for me. The song is about a relationship falling apart, and it's basically my life right now. Part of me hopes he sees it and knows that I'm hurting too, even though I know I don't deserve any sympathy. I'm the one who caused all this pain, and I have to live with that. Update 1. I couldn't take the silence any longer, so I finally reached out to B. I was terrified that he wouldn't respond or that he'd tell me to leave him alone, but he surprised me. He agreed to meet up, and we ended up going to this coffee shop we used to go to all the time when we first started dating. It felt so weird being there again, like we were stepping back into the past, but nothing was the same. Seeing him was even harder than I thought it would be. He looked so drained, so different from the person I fell in love with. I guess I wasn't expecting him to look so broken, and knowing that I'm the one who did this to him, it's unbearable. I sat there trying to hold back tears as I laid everything out for him. I told him everything he wanted to know about the affair, every painful detail, how often I had sex with AP, where, the acts we performed, everything. It was excruciating, but I knew he needed to hear it. He deserved the truth. He listened to everything I said, but I could see him breaking more and more with every word. By the end, he just looked at me with this hollow expression and said he didn't think he could ever trust me again. He said he had been holding on to some hope that maybe we could fix this, but now after hearing everything, he didn't see how that was possible. I knew deep down that I had to let him go, but it didn't make it any less painful. It's like a part of me was still clinging to this tiny thread of hope that we could somehow make it work. But that thread snapped the moment he said he couldn't trust me. I've lost him, and it's all my fault. I don't even know how to describe the mix of emotions I'm feeling. Guilt, regret, anger at myself, frustration at the situation. It's like a storm inside my head that won't let up. After that conversation, I felt this overwhelming urge to disappear. I wanted to just pack up and leave town, start over somewhere new where no one knew me or what I had done. But I knew running away wouldn't solve anything. I made this mess, and I have to deal with the consequences, no matter how much it hurts. Update 2. It's been a few weeks since I last saw B, and things haven't gotten any easier. He's still posting emotional stuff on social media, and every time I see it, it's like a knife twisting in my chest. I want to reach out to him so badly, to tell him again how sorry I am, but I know I need to give him space. He's trying to heal, and I can't keep dragging him back into this mess. But just when I thought things couldn't get any more complicated, AP reached out to me. He sent me a message saying he wanted to talk. I ignored it. I'm done with that part of my life, and I want nothing to do with him anymore. I've already caused enough damage, and talking to him would just make things worse. But then, out of nowhere, AP's fiancée contacted me. She wants to talk, and I'm dreading it. I don't know what she wants to say, but I can't imagine it'll be anything good. I've been trying to figure out what to do. Should I talk to her or just ignore it? Part of me feels like I owe her some answers, but another part of me is terrified of what that conversation might bring. I'm already struggling to keep it together as it is, and I don't know if I can handle more confrontation. I've been reading through this sub, hoping to find some guidance, but I still feel so lost. It's like I'm stuck in this never-ending cycle of guilt and regret. Every day is a struggle to keep moving forward, but I know I have to. I can't keep living in the past, even though it feels like the past is all I have left. I'm trying to focus on my mental health, but it's hard when everything around me is a constant reminder of my mistakes. I've been doing a lot of soul-searching lately, trying to understand why I let things get so out of control. I've come to realize that I've been running from my own issues for a long time, using distractions like work and the affair to avoid dealing with the deeper problems in my life. Now that everything's out in the open, I'm forced to confront those issues head on, and it's terrifying. But I know I have to do it if I ever want to move forward. One of the things that's been weighing on me is the fact that I hurt not just B, but also AP's fiancée. I never thought about her during the affair. I was so caught up in my own selfish desires that I didn't consider the impact my actions would have on others. Now that reality is hitting me like a ton of bricks. I don't know what she wants to say to me, but I'm scared to face her. I don't know if I can handle the anger and pain I'm sure she's feeling, but part of me knows that I deserve whatever she has to say. I made this mess, and I have to face the consequences, no matter how hard it is. Final update. I feel like I'm living in this weird in-between space where I'm trying to move forward, but I'm also haunted by everything that's happened. My ex and I gave it one last shot, but he told me he can't get past the betrayal, that every time he sees me, all he feels is pain. We're officially separated now, completely no contact. He's blocked me everywhere, and I thought that would make it easier for both of us to move on, but it's been harder than I imagined. There's this overwhelming sense of loss, not just for him, but for the life we had together and the future we were supposed to have. It's like a part of me has been ripped away, and it's entirely my fault. I can't help but think about how he's probably going to find someone who will treat him the way he deserves, while I'm left to deal with the mess I've made of my life. I feel like I don't deserve another chance at happiness, and I'm not sure I even want one right now. I keep asking myself why I did this, why I let things get so out of control, and how I became this person who could hurt someone so deeply. At the same time, there's this tiny part of me that holds on to hope. Maybe one day I'll get another chance, whether it's with someone new or just a chance to rebuild my life. But I know I can't even think about another relationship until I figure out why I did what I did. I need to understand myself better before I can ever be with someone again. The thought of getting into another relationship honestly scares me because I don't want to be that person again. I don't want to hurt anyone like this ever again. I'm also terrified that if I do find someone new, I'll end up overcompensating. I've been on the other side now, and I know how much it hurts. I'm afraid I'll become this overly loyal, maybe even jealous partner, because I don't ever want to go through this again, or put someone else through it. I keep going back and forth in my head, trying to figure out how to be the person I want to be, but it's also confusing. My ex sent me a text recently that really hit me hard. He said he's glad I'm taking care of what needs to be done, but that it just hurts too much to be around me. He mentioned how a part of him gets happy when he sees me because of all the good times we had. But then that happiness is crushed by the reminder of how I threw it all away. He told me he loves me, but he doesn't see a future for us, and that it's too painful to be around me right now. Maybe one day we'll be friends, but not now. It's too much for him. Reading that message broke me all over again. I could feel his pain in every word, and it just reinforced how much I've messed up. He's such a good person, and he didn't deserve any of this. I keep replaying our conversations in my head, wishing I could go back and do things differently. But I know that's impossible. All I can do now is try to move forward, but it's so hard when everything feels like it's falling apart. His family has also cut me out completely. They were like a second family to me, and now I've lost them too. His sister sent me a long message telling me how much I've hurt him and how I've ruined everything. It was brutal, but I know she's right. I feel like I've lost not just him, but this whole support system that used to be such a big part of my life. As for AP, I never met with his fiance. She reached out once, but I never responded. I didn't see the point. I don't want anything to do with him anymore, and I don't want to cause myself any more pain. I'm going to put myself first from here on.